Welcome to Coach Eichner's Math. Today we're going to be talking about parallel line investigation. So using the figure number 1 on your screen there, we're going to trace angle 1 and compare it to the following. So angle 1 to angle 5 is our first comparison. They are in the same place. And if I wanted to, I can take and I can cover up my bottom line. And I have got the angle on the top left of that set. I can cover up the top line. I've got the angle on the top left. So because they are in the same place, we are going to call them corresponding angles, which are congruent in this case, but are not supplementary. So looking down below, looking at angle 1 to angle 4. Okay, angle 1 to angle 4. They are adjacent angles. Okay, they're adjacent angles, or excuse me, non-adjacent angles. They do not touch each other except for on the vertex. So we would call them vertical angles. And vertical angles are congruent and not always going to be supplementary. Looking down at the next one, we've got angle 1 to angle 3. Angle 1 to angle 3. Well, now we look at it, angle 1 and angle 3 both touch my transversal T, but they are also both touching line A. So, since both angles have to do with line A and line T and have nothing to do with B, it's going to be one of our old vocabulary words where angle 1 and angle 3 create a line, so we call them a linear pair. We know that linear pairs are not always congruent, but they are going to be supplements. Looking down, number 8, angle 1, angle 8. So as I'm going through this, angle 1, again, is in the top left. Angle 8 is in the bottom right. They both touch my transversal T. One's on A, one's on B. Now, because they are on opposite sides of my transversal, we're going to use the word alternate. And because they're both on the outside of my lines A and B, we're going to say exterior. So, alternate exterior angles are congruent and not always supplementary. Moving on, looking at my next one here, I've got angle 1 right here. I've got angle 7 down here, both on transversal T inside of A and B. So angle 1 and angle 7 would be on the same side of my transversal, and they would be on the exterior of the two lines we were talking about. Same side exterior angles, and we would know that these same side exterior angles would not be congruent, but should be supplements. And again, one more time for you. The word supplements, if you don't remember, is a word that means that we're going to add up to 180 degrees. Okay, just a quick reminder, those two angles, 1 and 7, will add up to 180 degrees. So looking down below, doing the same thing, except now we're going to compare angle 3, and we're going to talk about angle 3 and angle 5. Angle 3 and angle 5, you notice there's something different. They're both inside A and B, and they're on the same side of my transversal. So in same side of the transversal. And they are inside or interior angles. So same side, interior angles. Same side, interior angles right here. They are not congruent, but they are supplements. Looking at this last one here, angle 3 and angle 6. Angle 3 and angle 6 are on alternate sides of my transversal, and they are still on the inside or interior of my two lines. So we are going to say it is the alternate interior angles. We know that alternate interior angles are congruent, but they are not always going to be supplementary. So, looking down below, it asks us which type of angle pairs were congruent. Well, go back up above and look at it. We can say that corresponding angles are congruent. Corresponding angles are congruent. We can say that vertical angles are congruent. We can say that alternate exterior angles are congruent. And we can say that alternate interior angles are congruent as well. So, those are our types of angle pairs that are congruent. Let's look at the ones that are now supplements or supplementary to each other. We know that linear pairs are going to be supplements. We know that same side exterior angles are supplement, and we know that same side interior angles are supplements. So, there's the start of our investigation. We're going to go ahead and do one more set. My suggestion to you is at this point, if you would pause the video, I would try to look at the relationship between figures 2, looking at angle 1, and then looking at angle 3, the way that we just handled it on the first page. Please pause now and try this. See if you can match up which type of angle pair it is. Please wait for me and we will fill out congruent or not and supplement or not together. All right, let's look at angle 1 and angle 5 for figure 2. Angle 1 and angle 5, again, are going to be in the same place. I can cover up line 1, it's top left, cover up line 2, it's in the top left, which makes them corresponding. Now, just looking at it, I can tell that angle 1 and angle 5 are not congruent. And I know that they are not supplementary. So let's look down at angle 4 and angle 1. So angle 4 and angle 1, these are still non-adjacent angles that share a vertex. So we're going to say that they are vertical angles. Now, vertical angles are congruent, and they are not always going to be supplementary. Let's go ahead and look at the same one. Let's look at angle 1 and angle 3. Again, they're both on line T, but they are also on line A, not on line B. So angle 1 and angle 3 put together make a line, so we will call them a linear pair. We know that a linear pair is not congruent, but they are going to be supplement. Okay, well, let's look down at the next option. Angle 1 and angle 8. So as I'm looking at it, I've got angle 1 and I've got angle 8. They are on opposite sides of my transversal, which means I'm going to throw the word alternate out, because we are alternating sides of my transversal. And because they are both outside, I'm going to say they are exterior. So alternate exterior angles. Okay. Alternate exterior angles are outside. We know that alternate exterior angles, in this case, they are not congruent and they are not supplementary. So let's look at the last set right here. We're going to look at angle 1 and angle 7. Angle 1 and angle 7 right here. Well, I know that they are on the same side. And I know that they are still on the outside, which is another way to say exterior. In this case, looking at them, they are not going to be congruent. And I cannot say that they're supplementary either. Okay. So, moving on. Let's look down below. Looking at figure number 2, we're going to look at angle 3. So, looking at angle 3, I've got angle 3 and I've got angle 5. Angle 3 and angle 5 are same side, and they are interior, so I'm going to say same side interior angles. Same side interior angles. They are not congruent and not supplementary. Angle 3 and angle 6. Looking at it, we've got angle 3, we've got angle 6. I know that those are alternate interior angles, and they are not congruent, and they are not supplements. So, take a second, look back up at your chart, fill it out. Which type of angle pairs were congruent? So as I'm looking at it, which types were congruent? Well, we knew that vertical angles were congruent. As we're looking through it, which types of angle pairs were supplementary? We know that linear pairs are supplementary. Now, there's a difference between picture 1 and picture 2. So, looking on to our conclusions on the next page. Figure 1 and figure 2. How are they different? So let's go ahead and put them down here side by side and look at them for a minute.